These days, margin in agriculture is everything, and with all of the trade tension in the economy, there's not much of that to go around. So, efficiency is what it's all about. And by the way, if you're the average American driver, the strategy you're about to see is one way to eliminate thousands of big rigs on the interstate every day. Here's John Torpy.
For industries making a home along one of the nation's inland waterways, the search for streamlined operations can be hard to find on such an unpredictable road. However, an idea putting two transportation technologies together is gathering some attention. A practice, dubbed Container on Barge, puts two transportation streams together in an effort to move goods more efficiently and cost-effectively.
Is container and barge in our future? It would definitely relieve some of the strain on our transportation system if those goods that come in from overseas could, come upriver to Kansas City, to Chicago, to St. Paul, to Pittsburgh.
Trucking companies have moved goods from dock to warehouse, making sure to minimize costs by trying to never move an empty load. Getting commodities downriver by barge to southern ports for global export is a mainstay in the nation's business mix. However, for years, empty barges made a return trip high in the water. Starting in 2007, inland waterway organizations started experimenting with maximizing the cost of a return load by putting containers on barges traveling to ports upriver.
So we have our goods coming in that way that are currently on road or rail. They come up the river, and then outbound we have grains, we have some of the exports. It would be a tremendous improvement, and in benefit to the, our economy and our environment, because we've taken, goods to the most economic, efficient mode of transportation.
The Inland Ports, Rivers, and Terminals Association touts an environmental benefit to this new navigation technique. If fully implemented, officials say container-on-barge shipping has the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by reducing traffic on the nation's interstate system by as much as 875 semi-trucks per lane per day. Container-on-barge carriage has received a warm reception in the Port of New Orleans. Grants, subsidies, and Department of Transportation funds have flowed into one of the busiest ports in the country to support startup operations for the young shipping method.
The Port of New Orleans is doing well. We are an unusual port in that we're not married to one commodity or one type of shipping. So we have containers, we have break bulk, we have some bulk commodities as well. We're a multi-purpose landlord port, as we like to say. And for the last year or so, business has been picking up. We've seen increases in our container volumes. We've seen increases in our imported break bulk cargoes. So overall, it's pretty good.
Both the ports of New Orleans and Greater Baton Rouge were deemed attractive testing grounds for the innovative shipping method due to the diverse list of commodities that move through each day. Officials at both ports think the new style of moving goods will be attractive to business owners searching for new ways to streamline the cost of doing business.
A lot of major retailers and a lot of major shippers are very concerned about their environmental impact, and barge transportation uses a lot less fuel. It keeps trucks off the highway. There's no idling time, so to speak, so it's much more environmentally friendly and leaves a smaller carbon footprint.
While moving more goods on the river and less over the road is attractive to some businesses, there are others who point out a less than predictable timetable as a major deterrent for container-on-barge shipping. A 15-tow barge navigating down the Mississippi River from the Midwest can expect the trip to last around 13 days. Once the goods are loaded onto ships, up to 30 additional days are added to the schedule for the goods to reach their global destination, bringing the travel time to over 40 days. If the same products are loaded on a train and sent to the West Coast for export, the trip to the port can take up to 6 days, greatly reducing travel time and improving efficiency for shippers.
Containerized shipping for agriculture, it's something that's growing. The inland waterway system is something that should be utilized more. It's not a congested system, but the problem is it's not a reliable system. Barge transportation, it's good at moving heavy product long distances at an economical price point, but it's not very good at quick turnaround, at transit times, at having a real rapid transit time.
The experiment has gained some traction. As of 2015, the U.S. Department of Agriculture calculated 8% of all waterborne grain exports were shipped in containers. Another aspect holding back the practice from becoming more common is the drag put on shipping due to an aging infrastructure along the nation's inland waterways. For several years, environmental groups, the navigation industry, and agriculture advocacy groups have been raising red flags to Congress over the dilapidated state of the nation's lock and dam system. The unlikely bedfellows hope to get politicians inside the Beltway to shake loose appropriate funding before a catastrophic failure occurs with a devastating economic outcome.
For agriculture and other stakeholder groups, we don't think it's an effective strategy to wait for a catastrophe and then pounce upon that to try to get something done. I think we can do a good job of portraying the importance of it, but then also conveying what the consequences would be if we still have this inaction from Washington, D.C.
While the details are sorted out on infrastructure improvements, shippers and retailers wait for the right confluence of cash and containers before moving further ahead with a new shipping strategy. For Market to Market, I'm John Torpy.
Hard to believe they haven't thought of that before now.
That is right.